Welcome to NC Wine Snobs as we savor the world one sip at a time. In this episode of NC Wine Snobs on Vacation, we stopped in at the Stroudsburg wine sales location of Tolino Vineyards. They also have locations in Bangor and Easton.
So here we are today at Tolino's Vineyards Winery Tasting Room in Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. And got a bit of variety today. We got a couple of dry whites, a couple of semi-sweet sweet whites, a pair of rosés, and two dry reds that we're going to try. First up we've got is a Pinot Grigio.
Took a very light sip. I'll let you get a sniff of that.
A little bit of maybe peach, honeysuckle on the nose, right? And as you can see, it's a really generous pour for a well, because they're doing it as a flight, not a tasting, so.
I think it's very refreshing. And for a dry white, it's not astringent. Definitely wouldn't serve it to someone who wants sweet wines.
No.
Because it's dry.
But you get some of those sweet flavors going on, like a peach, honey.
I mean, it's like fresh sliced fruit. Not overly ripe fruit, because it's not that super sweet ripeness. And for their notes, they say smooth, light, crisp body with notes of citrus.
Yep, I would agree with that. I mean, I would say this is something that's very drinkable on its own. I mean, borderline front porch sipping wine. Good start.
Great start.
All right, so next up is what we got, Chardonnay.
Just pale straw color.
And I'm not sure what the camera picks up and what it doesn't, but it is not a cloudy wine. There's some condensation on the outside because of served chilled, and that goes for all four of the whites. Yeah, if they look kind of hazy, they really are not.
Yeah, I'd say straw colored with a slight tinge of green, maybe. Or reflection off of our shirts.
Could be.
Okay, let him get a taste of that.
Also, what I smell is grape.
It's not what I taste, though.
I do think that with this type of glass, it's difficult to catch the aromas of the.
I mean, it's flared, it's wide, it's kind of hard to. It's also hard to swirl it because it's such a full glass.
Yeah. Well, that's different.
Do you get green apple?
I do. So I would not have guessed that to be a Chardonnay. I mean,
not at all.
It doesn't have that buttery roundness of an oak Chardonnay, and it doesn't have
the tinny metallic bright stainless flavor.
It's really more floral, tart. Yeah.
And I get a little of that green apple skin as the slight bitter tart.
Yep.
Makes me wonder how long they had it sitting on the skins. Did they pick up some of those light colored grape flavors from the skin?
Yeah. That is definitely different.
I would not have guessed Chardonnay on that one either.
All right, so that takes care of the dry whites. Now we're off to the semi-sweet sweet whites. First up is Vidal Blanc, because that's how we listed it first on the flight list.
Wow, I like that Vidal Blanc.
Maybe a little bit of grassiness on the nose.
Definitely grassy.
Maybe a little bit of like lemon, citrus. Yeah, that's very nice. Very soft, fruit forward. Maybe some light peach, nectarine type flavors. What else do you get?
Maybe a little honey.
Okay, that's a good solid wine. I do think maybe it would need food, ideally. Quite enjoyable.
It's one of my favorites of the three we've done so far. Very drinkable. So the next one up is Gracie, which is a blend of Chardonnay and Pinot Grigio. The two dry whites we had already tried. Okay, I'm getting nothing on the nose. Maybe a slight hint of grassiness.
That freshly mown field kind of, it's not super sweet.
No.
There's a definite sweetness to it. More of a fruity sweetness than a sugary sweetness. Very light mouthfeel. Flavors of honey, apricot maybe.
And a little bit of tartness on the back, too, on the sides of the tongue. So that I could see that apricot. Definitely not a super sweet wine.
No.
It's lightly sweet.
But something that definitely could stand on its own. That's a potential front porch sipper.
So that concludes the white end of the spectrum, both the dry and the sweet semi-sweets. So next up we have 2 rosés, and wanted to show you the difference in their color. And there's a huge difference in the coloration on these rosés. The one in my hand is Mama's Rosé. It's almost a light cranberry juice kind of color, versus what Tim is holding is Catawba, and it is more of a peachy
yeah.
rosé color. So just rosés have a wide spectrum of coloration. So we'll start with Mama's Rosé, and I'm getting kind of a cherry cranberry vibe off of the nose. And that is a very dry rosé.
Also, a little bit of that kind of like leathery, tobacco, smoky kind of that you would expect from a full-bodied red.
But I don't think it has the tannins of a full-bodied red.
No, but I mean,
it's not a sweet wine.
It drinks like a red.
It definitely drinks like a red. If someone put a glass of that in front of me, I would think it was just a dry red blend.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. So it doesn't have like big, bold flavors. So if somebody doesn't like heavy, bold reds, but they prefer things kind of on the drier side, I think it would work for them.
If you think of the rose water added to a Lebanese iced tea, I kind of get that rose water flavor in there too.
I do get like the dark fruits flavors, like the dark cherry, plum, maybe even a touch of smoke, like cigar tobacco smoke. It's interesting. It's a really complex rosé. All right, next up is our second and final of the rosés, Catawba, presumably 100% Catawba grape, but
yeah, and it's Catawba grape. There's no doubt. It has that aroma. Oh my, it's got the sweetness too. This is a very sweet rosé.
So for somebody who doesn't know what a Catawba grape smells like, how would you describe that?
Perfumey, floral, and sweet. And the flavor is like liquid honey.
Yeah, honeysuckle.
And more of a summer honey than a winter honey. Which there is a difference when you harvest the honey from the comb. Your winter honeys tend to be darker, a little more stronger flavor.
So there's sweetness there, but I don't find it oversweet.
It's not sugar sweet. It's very fruity.
Yeah. Somebody who likes sweet wines and sweet wines only could probably enjoy it.
I'm trying to figure out what to compare it to for.
It's got a really interesting finish, mid to finish flavor in there. It's almost tart. I mean, almost. I don't know. Pear, apple.
It has a little tartness to it too. I think the more of it I drink, the more complexity I find in it.
I think I would prefer to pair this with some food, though. Could do that with cheese. Could do that with a dinner and any kind of fish or chicken dish. I think would pair well with that. Solid wine.
Definitely.
Right, so next up is the dry reds, and our first dry red will be Merlot.
See if I can swirl it a little bit. And it does have a little bit of legs. Oh, nice dark, strong fruit. Dark stone fruits. Maybe a little leather there. This is another one of those cigar room kind of wines. Oh man, it's got coffee and cocoa, dark cherry. That's my kind of Merlot.
Thank you for leaving some for me.
That is my kind of Merlot. It's got some smoke. It's not super bold. The tannins are soft, but it's got lots of flavor.
Very light mouthfeel. Yeah, I mean, everything you said, I think, pretty much sums it up. Good wine to go with Italian food. Good wine to go with a steak. I would Probably throw that out there as a replacement for a Chianti.
Good, solid, dry red.
All right, now we round out the tasting with our eighth and final wine here at Tolino, and it is a Chamberson.
Very, very dark. Kind of plummy on the aroma. Maybe a little cigar smoke there, but not sweet. It just has that fruity kind of flavor.
Yeah, I mean, the aromas are just, kind of on the sweet side. You get that strawberry, that sweet cherry, ripe red berries kind of feel. Again, relatively soft tannins for a Chamberson. And really, not much in the way of bold flavors either.
That's a good sitting back with friends, having a conversation, wine, and nibbles.
Sharp cheeses.
Yeah.
Crackers. Yeah, hint of leather, hint of smoke, hint of tobacco. Maybe even a touch of pepperiness to it.
I can get the pepper, yeah. I can see where you come with that.
8 wines. What's your one bottle?
Merlot.
Yeah, I actually have to agree with you on that one. I think that was the strongest of all of them.
Now, if you were to push me to say which is my favorite white, I'm leaning towards Vidal Blanc.
Okay, I probably would have gone with Pinot Grigio as the sort of preferred white, because it's a little bit different, actually. There you have it. Tolino Vineyards. This is the tasting room, Stroudsburg. They do have a tasting room at their winery as well, so look them up and definitely give them a shot.
And I'm going to turn the camera around and let you kind of see the setting where we're at.
If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel with the notification bell turned on.